There has never been a better time to be a Predator fan. With Predator Badlands finally in theaters, this is the third movie from director Dan Trachtenberg. This is a movie from the Predator's point of view. Bold move. Bold move. But does it pay off? We're going to talk about all that in the spoiler-free review. Let me know what you thought about the movie down in the comments, and of course, keep it spoiler-free. And remember, if you like the video, make sure you smash that like button and consider subscribing for more videos just like this. All right, let's get to it. So the story of Predator Badlands follows a Yautja named Dek who goes out to prove himself to his father, to his clan, that he's not the weakest link and that he can hold his own. He goes to a deadly planet where literally everything is trying to kill him, and he goes out to kill an unkillable beast. And while he's there, he teams up with Thea, who's this damaged Weyland-Yutani Corporation synthetic. They team up together to take down the beast and get what they want out of the situation. Now, like I said before, bold move, incredibly bold move, but when you look back at what Dan Trachtenberg has done with the franchise, everything that he does is essentially a bold move. He made a female protagonist in Prey that really paid off. That is a great movie. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. And then earlier this year, he gave us Killer of Killers, which had 3 different timelines going on with a samurai, with a Viking, and a World War II vet, plus the movie was animated. And now we have Predator Badlands, which is from the perspective of an actual predator, or a Yautja as they call themselves. This is such a great example of what one creative mind can do for a franchise. When you look back at all the Predator movies, they're pretty thin as far as plot goes, as far as everything goes, and they're not really doing much. It's kind of hard when you're really breaking it down. Yes, they all are different, but it's kind of hard to pick and choose, like, really the scenes that really stand out. When you look at the first Predator, of course, there's stuff there, but when you really break down the rest of them, they all kind of blend together. With these 3 movies that he's done, they are all distinct, they are all memorable, and Predator Badlands is no exception to that. And the best part about Predator Badlands, and it feels so odd to say this about a Predator movie, but it's the truth. It's the truth. The story in Predator Badlands is one of the best parts about it, because we get to see Dek as a character at the beginning and really sets up what his motivations are. And not to say that everyone has the same motivation, but it is something that a lot of people can relate to when they just want to prove, that they belong in the world, and they want to prove to their family that they belong and just make their family proud. That's something that a lot of people can, relate to, so it makes it a little bit more relatable, which is crazy to say once again that we can relate in a sense to a predator. So it sets the movie up really, really well there. And so everything starts to go downhill and he's kind of making his way to kill this unkillable beast. You know the motivation. You are riding with this guy, you want to see him succeed so bad and really just find his place in the world and really just you want to see him kill the thing. Which brings me to the action. The action in Predator Badlands is top tier. And this isn't just recency bias. When you watch this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The close quarters combat that this Predator does, and the use of not only the weapons that we know that the Predator has with the arm cannon, the shoulder cannon, or the swords, and he has a bow, and he has all these different things that he can use. He uses them. But the thing is even when he can't use them, he makes do with whatever he has going on around him. And that is such a fun idea, and they just play everything off so well. Whether it's him going against, the unkillable beast, which is an awesome scene, but even the smaller things that are trying to kill him on this planet. So there's a bunch of different scenarios that they can play with the action. Plus, there's a little bit of Predator versus Predator action in this, and that is awesome too. And I just feel like it's the right thing to do here to really point out when a movie has great visual effects, because this is something that has been lacking in a lot of movies nowadays. This movie is another great example of what CGI can do and when it should be used and how it should be used. The visuals in this movie are great. I think a lot of the close-ups of Dek is CGI because of how the face is moving. But the cool thing is that they go all in on this. He's not wearing the helmet the entire time. Really, it's just the beginning. It's his face exposed the entire time. So they are not afraid to show us what he looks like and really kind of go all in with the CGI there. Also with Thea, she's a synthetic and she's missing, you see this in the trailer, she's missing her legs. So there's a lot of cool visual effects that they use with that, with her interacting with Dek and what she's able to do. And then we get to the actual planet itself, whether it's the landscapes, whether it's the monsters on the planet, it doesn't really matter. It all looks fantastic. There's one scene towards the end where it kind of looked a little bit off, but even then it looked really good. And another thing I have to give a shout out to is the sound design. The sound design, whether it's the score, which isn't the sound design, but the score is really good and it really elevates what's going on. And the movie is complete action from start to finish, right? So the score has to match what's happening. So there's a lot of different variations, but all of them are epic and all of them make everything just sound so much better. But the thing that I want to give a really big shout out to is the sound design. When Deck is making the noises that a predator makes and he's like screaming and growling, you feel it. It is amazing. And not just him, it's freaking every other animal on the planet is growling back at him. And it's just so intense. And I just think that they nailed it. They nailed it from top to bottom as far as the sound design goes. And the more I talk about this movie to you all, the more I realize like there is just not really much to say negative about this movie. It's just such a great time. If you're a Predator fan and you've seen the rest of them and you really enjoy them, or even if you're a casual Predator fan, you're gonna go into this and you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. And I was worried about that because it's PG-13. And, you know, at first I was like, you know what? Dan Trachtenberg's got it. He understands this franchise better than anybody ever has and probably ever will with his last two movies. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. You don't miss a beat in this. It's PG-13 because they're on a different planet and it's all aliens. So the brutality that you would expect from a Predator movie is here. Do not worry about that. Do not worry at all. If that was your concern, if you should see it or not, go see it. Run, don't walk. Run and go see this movie because you're not gonna miss out on what you love about the Predator movies. And it actually, like I said before, adds a layer of, you know, you can relate to the Predator, and the story is some of the best parts of the movie. So you're getting a little bit more than what you would have ever expected in a Predator movie in this one. Now, as you all can tell, I virtually liked everything that this movie had to offer. Pretty much everything it did really hit the mark for me. The one thing that it didn't really mesh well with me is Thea's character and the dialogue that she was given to use. She is, you know, when you look at all the Alien movies, the synthetics are some of the highlights, right? Michael Fassbender was great. The last one in Alien Romulus was fantastic, like one of the best parts about Alien Romulus. So I was going into this expecting another very likable synthetic. Thea's fine. She's fine. I think that there was overuse of comedy as far as what she had to say and her being kind of like that really annoying kid that's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And just being kind of like a pain in the butt the whole time. That is a big part of her, you know, her scenes in the movies. She does get better. She gets better, of course, but that was one part of the movie where I'm like, okay, that's, for one, it's too much of that kind of humor, and the next part is that it didn't really hit for me. Having said that though, there is still a little bit of good banter back and forth between her and Deck, so it's not all bad, but that is the one part of the movie that really kind of dragged it down a little bit for me, and it just kind of got a little bit annoying as I was watching. So I think the big question here is Predator Badlands good? The answer is yes. Is Predator Badlands going to change someone's perspective of the Predator franchise? That is the big question. And that's something that I'm gonna say this movie absolutely could, because it adds so much more elements to it where, you know, at the end of the day, these movies in the franchise are survival horror, right? It's humans who are going up against aliens that are hunting them. Pretty scary scenario, right? But now that it's flipped it on its head and now we're following the alien, it does take away from the mystery. It takes away from the mystery of what these things are, and while that's a negative for some people, it's a huge positive for others, because now we're getting an inside look at it. And even though it does take away the mystery, what we're getting here is extremely entertaining. And even though it builds a lot more lore into the franchise, and now we understand what these things are a little bit better, there's still more mystery there. There's still more mystery. So now we can still get the action. We can still get everything that we love about it, of them hunting. But now we can learn more about what this creature is and what this franchise has been about since the 80s. Like, that's another thing that I love about Dan Trachtenberg and what he's doing. He's taking this franchise that has been around forever and is essentially a rinse and repeat of the same movie again and again and again, same scenario. And he's giving us, in the span of like 5 years, 3 different scenarios that are pretty different from the last, you know, few movies. So that's something that this movie does really well. And I think that if you're not a huge fan of Predator, you deserve to give this movie a chance. Like this is something that I think the movie deserves you to go check it out because it's fantastic. But also, if you're curious about it, you deserve it to yourself to go check this out, because I think there's so much to love about this movie. And if you need a recap of the 6 main entries in the Predator franchise, you can check that video out right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.